Yeah. Hi, and if you're just tuning in, this is Geva Salerno, and I am here with Erica Folk, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing tonight and share with you a little bit about this group, and then tell you about Erica and what she is up to and what kind of magic she creates. So, um, again, I'm Geva Salerno. I'm the founder of Over 40 Fearless and Free, an international women's movement of over 10,000 members worldwide. And you can find us on Facebook. I am a writer living in Southwest Florida, and I believe that women over 40 can live happy, juicy, fulfilling lives. And I'm interested in kind of the intersection of science and spirituality and psychology, all to help women grow. So personal growth. I'm a lifelong learner with degrees in biochemistry and international policy, also a certified yoga instructor. And in our group, Over 40 Fearless and Free, we are working to change the world by helping women to become happier and to recognize their own value, power, and potential. So let me introduce to you Miss Erica Folk, Erica Carter Folk, right?
Yes.
Erica Folk, who is an amazing coach who helps women to create fulfilling new lives by changing the way that they think, primarily working with the subconscious. She has a really interesting toolbox, which we will talk about in a little bit. Erica, is there anything you want to share about what you do? And then we'll talk a little bit about how you do it.
Okay. So my main focus right now is to help elevate women over 50 so that they can restore their personal power. A lot of times we get to a place where we're not our own person and we can't figure out who we are. So I like to help women figure out who they are, invent a life that they love, and have the love that they deserve in their life.
Yes, and you really have a focus right now on relationships as well. So helping women to figure out who they are and what they want so that they can create a more fulfilling life, which naturally leads to great relationships. But you also help them kind of walk through that process of getting into new relationships as well, right?
Yes. Yes. It's kind of the final step in our process. Um, First, we have to know who we are and what we want, because otherwise, we'll attract all the things that we don't want.
Oh my gosh, I totally know that. So, back in 2012, I got to the point that you're describing. I
Okay.
got to the point where nothing was working in my life and it was so boring and unfulfilling. And I had a lot of like fear and compulsiveness and workaholism and all this stuff. And I was really obsessed with getting remarried,
Mm.
and it just wasn't working. So I decided to take a year off and just focus on changing my life. And I think that if I had known you back then, oh my gosh, you could have sped that process up so much.
Yeah, I kind of went through the same thing. I got divorced after 14 years, and we had actually been together 25 years. And you come out of that not quite knowing who you are. You're a mom, you're a wife, but other than that, who are you? And it takes a lot of healing. And this is how people get to go to therapy and they go for years and years unpacking. Well, my approach is a lot quicker.
Yeah, I guess my approach was kind of a quicker process too. I was really focused on taking the steps, the baby steps, and trying out new things and trying to figure out who I was. And that worked because I did end up creating a new life that was way more fulfilling for sure. But you know what? It took until these last 3 years to really do what you said, unpack, and
Mhm.
I call it doing a deep dive under
Yeah.
the. So within the last 3 years, I've done this really deep dive into my psychology and figuring out who I am. Um, but boy, women are so lucky to have you, someone like you to help them do that. My goodness, because it's like a gut wrenching process.
It is. It's a really tough process, especially to go through it alone. I personally went to a seminar for my business and it got real personal real fast. They asked who in the room was abused, stand up. And I never thought that I would even stand up and admit it, but I did. I did that day. And I was the one in the room abused the longest. Can you believe that?
Oh,
So they
wow.
called me on stage and I'm freaking out because it's like 2,000 people in the room. And
Wow.
so he took me through a process. And by the end of it, I had a new identity. I didn't have any more negative feelings around my relationship. And I was able to come home and have a conversation and be friends with my ex. That just blew my mind. So I
Wow.
I had to figure out how to do that for people. And that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I love to see the change happen.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That is so amazing, really, that happened to you. Is that process that you learned that day, on that stage, how similar is it to what you do now
It's
with.
very similar. I actually took 3 months out of my life to study neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis just to figure out what he did to me. And I figured it out at the end of all my studies. So I was able to gather all of that so I can do that for other people.
Wow, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Um, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, right?
Yes.
I have heard of it several times, but I don't really know that much about it. Can you share some of the elements?
Yeah. So it's a way that you can speak to your brain, your subconscious mind, and it opens up more opportunities for you because your subconscious mind is going to do most of the work for you. Your conscious mind is concentrating on day to day activities, but your subconscious mind will be working behind the scenes, getting you where you want to go. I've done things like get people to stop smoking, have you stop eating your favorite junk food. So it's just an easier way for your mind to get you closer to your goals.
Okay, two questions with that.
Yep.
One, how much does it have to do with the power of suggestion? And two, how much does it have to do with affirmation?
Zero for both.
Whoa, ooh, it's getting even more interesting.
So with the hypnosis, it's definitely all suggestion, and what your mind accepts. With NLP, it's more of a reprogramming. So your mind is like a computer. And when you send it a new program, it runs the new program instead of the old program. So let's say you have a belief. I believe that all the good men are taken. Well, if I remove that belief, I can insert a new belief, and that old belief would just be gone. So now you have a belief that, oh, the good man for me is still out there. And it makes it easier for you to do things. So it's just replacing your old thoughts with new thoughts. It's the best way to say it.
Okay, without diving into the magic of that, because that sounds magical. So that kind of happened in a way, except without the NLP and with like 8 years of time passed. I think 8 years of time passed. Okay, since I had the thought and belief that a woman, because of what society tells us, a woman over 40 is no longer valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And will, especially if doesn't have the normal things in place, like the marriage and the kids and the great job. That's part of why I was so like crazy in 2012, because like the time was getting shorter and shorter, and I was like, I've got to get it together. So time is running out. So I had this idea, that a woman after over 40 is no longer valuable, especially if you don't have those things in place, and a man will not be attracted. And this is when I broke up with someone. In that moment, the thought was inserted, the belief was inserted, right? I know the exact moment when it was inserted. I will never have another relationship.
Okay.
And it took 8 years until that curse was broken.
Now imagine if we could go back 8 years ago and I could have gotten you through that in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one problem is that I didn't even know I had that in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a part of it. But yeah, I think that women could save a lot of time by working with you, for sure.
And time is of the essence.
Yeah, because we want to get the most we can out of life. I don't know if there's some kind of expiration date, but I can tell you right now that I'm 52.
Okay.
And I am in the best relationship I have ever had with a
Nice.
man who is 58. And
Okay.
we are like teenagers.
Wonderful.
So if it can happen to me, or if I can make it happen, anyone can make it happen. And certainly you can be a super big help to women to accomplish that faster.
Yeah, and with everything I've learned to digest heartache differently. So as I was going through my journey and dating, and I get really attached to somebody like this is gonna be my next husband, and it didn't happen, I would be heartbroken, and I say, wait, what did we learn from this? And then I do a little mind trick, and the pain would be gone. No
Yeah.
more heartache. Imagine that. But
Yes.
I too am in the best relationship I've ever been in at 45 with a guy who's 50. And it's just amazing to have a true partner, someone who actually works with you and promotes you and makes you feel good about waking up.
Oh, I totally agree. I was thinking today what a blessing it is to have a partner who has the exact same sense of humor. Like
Yes.
that is rare. We laugh at the exact same things, and like all the time. So what a
Perfect.
um so relationships. Yeah, can you share some of the hmm, maybe the goals and objectives that people come to you with around relationships? Are they all the same, or are they different, or?
They're not. They're very different. I've gone from coaching people through divorce. They come at the point where they're going to court and they just want to get through it with some dignity. because society tells us, oh, this is bad. So you kind of feel shunned. Oh, I'm getting divorced. So I've helped people get through divorce and restart their lives. I've helped married couples who just had a blah relationship to find bliss. I've helped a lot of single women and men, actually, but mostly women, to get to a point where they've accepted where they are and were ready to reinvent themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a totally different space than somebody who's like kind of desperately ready to reinvent themselves, right?
right. And sometimes you don't even know that you're ready to reinvent yourself. You may be stuck in your mind chatter of your last relationship or still carrying around the baggage, you know? And after a conversation, you may say, "Hey, I'm ready to move forward." So sometimes they just don't know where they are. They just know they want fulfillment in their life.
It's so interesting because it sounds like you're combining psychology and coaching, which is kind of rare, but you're also using this technique as well. Um, so interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about the hypnosis part? I'm sure people are really curious about that.
Yeah, so a lot of times people are terrified of hypnosis because of what we see on TV. Or we may have seen a show where people are barking like dogs. Hypnosis is really relaxing, and I use it to help people stop smoking. I use it to fix my eyesight when things get a little blurry for me. It's just really relaxing. So a lot of people are afraid. So let's kill that myth right now. Okay, if you'll do me a favor and just close your eyes. Now open your eyes. How did that feel?
I am more relaxed for sure.
But that's exactly what it feels like. It doesn't, it's no one controlling you. It's the ultimate control of yourself because you're accepting suggestions that you gave me that you wanted to be inserted when you're at a relaxed state, and I can get past your conscious mind. So I just bring down the wall, put your conscious mind to sleep, and I speak directly to your subconscious mind. And again, it helps to relax you. That's number one. But it also helps you to do things a little faster. Maybe stop smoking, lose weight, stop biting your nails. So there's so many things you can do with hypnosis.
Well, that's amazing. It almost sounds like you're helping them get into some kind of meditative state and then giving them the suggestions they need. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so I actually will interview you before we do the hypnosis, and I'll figure out what you want and how you want things to be. And I'll insert those suggestions while I'm speaking to your subconscious mind, in addition to just some things to uplift you and make you feel powerful.
It sounds great. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the clients that you've worked with without like sharing their names or
Yeah,
personal information? But yeah, can you just share maybe the stories?
of course. So I had one client, a hypnosis client, and she was just so ready to stop smoking. And I could tell she was ready. So we did a session, and she was smoking about a pack a day. And we did a session. She went home and she came back 2 days later and said, it didn't work. And I said, have you smoked today? And she said, no. But when my best friend comes over, we smoke. So I said, okay. So we did it one more time just to please her, but I knew it worked because she hadn't had a cigarette in days other than when her friend was around. So we did it one more time just to solidify in her mind that it worked. And she came back about a week later and said, I had to find a new best friend because I only smoke with her. and I don't want to do it. So that's hypnosis client. One of my NLP clients was having a hard time with her husband, and she would go home and she would smoke marijuana and just veg out. And her husband was mad because he wanted dinner, he wanted to spend time with her, he wanted someone to clean up, and she just wasn't doing any of it. She just go home, get high, and just chill on the couch. So she didn't want to stop smoking, but she wanted to only do it at bedtime. So we did a little technique with her. It took about 10 minutes, and she came back and said, I went home. I didn't feel like I needed to get high when I stepped in the door, and I didn't smoke till bedtime. And I checked in a few months later. She said, I only smoke at bedtime or with friends. I don't even feel a need to smoke any other time. So her relationship got better with her husband because they could spend time together. She could be an active member in their house. And these are one-off clients that I've had. As far as the relationship coaching goes, I have helped 25 people find their soulmate. I took them through the process of healing old wounds, reinventing their life, and to a point where they were ready for the love that they felt they deserved. And they just lived their best single lives. And they were able to attract the person that was meant for them. And just like you, they're super happy with who they're with. 8 of them have gotten married already. And this happened within the past 18 months that I've been doing this with relationships.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, so everybody's on the same page, what do you mean by a soulmate? Because there's so many different interpretations of that.
Yes. So I just tell clients a soulmate is someone that you feel that you can mesh with, someone that fits into your life and is happy to be there, not someone that you have to be deserving to be with them. So you kind of attract people to your way of life, and your soulmate just connects with you on a higher level than anyone else ever would.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. Do people come to you saying, I want to meet my soulmate, or do they come to you like just for all different reasons?
A lot of different reasons. Lately, it's been I'm tired of dating and I want a long-term relationship. It's not so much, oh, help me find my soulmate. It's more so I deserve to be loved. Why can't I find love? Yeah.
Hmm.
A
They're
lot of them tell me that they feel lonely in a crowded room. And that's a big one. Just to feel connected to where you are in a moment. That's hard for us right now, especially with everything going on. It's hard to connect, but that's a big one, feeling lonely in a crowded room.
Yeah, it's like they are having trouble connecting to themselves
Mm-hmm.
and therefore they cannot connect to other people. It sounds like what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yep. It's nothing worse than being at a party and everyone's having fun and you're just like, why am I here? You know, it's just,
Yeah, they're like frustrated and unfulfilled and having trouble being present.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I can see that. And then they would that makes it hard to connect with another person
Mm-hmm.
because you have to, well, you don't have to, but ideally, I think when you feel uh centered and fulfilled in your own life, um then you're coming from a different place. You're coming from a place of fulfillment, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of spills over to other people,
Yeah.
and they're attracted to that. And of course, that was my whole that was my hypothesis going into the year that I took off in 2012. It was like I wanted to create a new life, but I wanted to create a new life so that I would be attractive to someone else, as crazy as that sounds. So that was my crazy hypothesis for doing that experiment. But it kind of worked because I did create a more fulfilling life. The only problem was is that I hadn't done the deep inner work.
Mm,
My life was so different, so radically different after about 6 months to 6 or 8 months that I said I need to share this, that women, with other women, that you can actually change your life.
yeah.
So I wrote a book about it, and a lot of people like the book because it kind of shows them the little steps that I took, and it's really good for women who are recently divorced like I was.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't that deep work to change the underlying beliefs that you
Mm.
do with people. And so it's really exciting to when you learn some of this stuff and are able to look back and be like, wow, I'm glad I'm not in that position anymore. You know,
Exactly.
and we've got to share the tools and skills with other women so that they can do it. That's what the group is all about. Over 40 Fearless and Free is helping women to become happier so that we can create like this big network of women around the world that are connected and support each other in making like really positive change in the world, which is exactly what you're doing. So you are so supporting that mission.
And I so love the support in the group. I read the messages and everyone is so supportive, and it's just like a safe place where you don't have to worry about outside garbage.
Yeah, it took a lot of work to create that kind of culture. But it's pretty solid now. Yeah, and we work really hard to keep it a safe place. We check the profile of every woman who applies to be a member.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we work really hard, but it's so fantastic to have coaches like you in the group that are helping women to become happier and to become fearless and free. So um I am curious about that. When we talk about becoming more fearless and free, can you kind of connect the dots for me and for your listeners about how the NLP and the hypnosis help women to become more fearless and free?
Oh, definitely. Um, well, with the NLP, it helps to drive you to be anything you want to be. It helps take the burdens that you have on you away faster so that you can feel that freedom. And same thing with the hypnosis. You can suggest things to yourself. So if you make a vision, let's say you have a vision of where you want to be, and you just want to be yourself. You want to be loved for being yourself. You want to be financially free, and just living your best life, right? So when you put that in your mind every day, it sets up something called your reticular activator system, which I call your railroad track.
Hmm.
So you just want your train to go on the right track. So NLP and hypnosis allows your train to run without you having to stand at the engine driving the train. Your life is on autopilot while you're taking care of day-to-day things. Your subconscious mind is driving that train for you right where you want to go, and things will show up and we don't even realize this opportunity came because my mind brought me here.
That was such a great way to explain it. I love the image of the train and like getting it on the right tracks and having it, running in the background where you're not fighting your subconscious, right?
Yep.
You're getting your subconscious to work for you.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
You know, we say affirmations, and some funny thing will happen. Every morning I wake up and say, money comes easily and often. And every day some money shows up that I wasn't expecting. How does that happen? So it's the more you think about things that you want versus things that you don't want. Don't think about things that you don't want. Don't think about bills because you'll get more bills. Don't think about heartache and men that aren't good for you because you'll get more heartache and men that aren't good for you. So focus on what you want more than anything. And if you find yourself slipping back into the I don't want this, pull yourself out and say, well, what do I want instead? And that keeps your railroad train going in the right direction.
That's fantastic. That's so helpful. Such helpful tips, and so important to focus on what you want. I'm actually looking right now at this kind of collage that I made that has like a little bit of a vision board aspect to it. It's right across from me over here. And I'm realizing that, yeah, it's got some good vision board aspect, but I really need to make a vision board again and put it right there where it's right in front of me every day.
Definitely.
Yeah, do
I did a vision board with a client, and she put on there that she wanted a guy, and she colored his suit blue. He had on a blue suit, and she wanted a boat, and she saw airplanes, so she drew airplanes on it. She drew this house on it. And when you know, about 5 years later, she married an airline pilot and they bought a boat.
and he
And
wears a
she
blue
looked back
suit.
and was like,
That's so cool. Yeah, maybe we'll do a vision boarding workshop in
that
the
would be awesome.
yeah, I have some ideas on that. So maybe if you want to be involved in that, we can collaborate and make that happen.
Oh, sure. Vision boards work.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's so exciting. And speaking of what works, I was shocked to see how many courses you have available. You don't just have, like a course, you literally have a university. You have
That's
a
right.
university on that one website. I know you're focusing on the ericacarter.com
It's
website.
all linked.
Yeah. Um, are those courses going to be up on ericacarter.com
Yep,
soon?
they're already linked.
They're already linked. Okay,
Mhm.
great. Um, can you give us some of the titles of the courses? Give the audience some titles.
Yeah, so I have your Be Your Authentic Self course, your get through hurt from traumatic relationships or breakups. The Find Your Soulmate course is coming. um I don't know, it's going blank.
So many, and there's other tools on there too. Some things that have to do with self hypnosis.
Yes.
Uh,
So I'm actually teaching self-hypnosis courses and how to become a life coach courses. I also have things like that are free, like the Power of Laughter course. That one is really good. It teaches you all about why you should laugh. And we need to laugh because we don't want frown lines, right, ladies?
I think we should probably put some links to your website and your different courses and things um, in the show notes, like below in the show notes for people to access, and we can do that after. Um, yeah, but I know that you also wanted to, um, well, actually, I know that you also want to offer something to our viewers, but before we get to the offer, um, I forgot to ask you to tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this.
Yeah, so um it all started with that seminar that changed my life. I decided that I needed to know everything about NLP and hypnosis. So I did the trainings. I became a practitioner of NLP, then a master practitioner, and then a trainer. Same with the hypnosis and EFT, emotional freedom tapping. And I got certified through the National Hypnosis Guild, and I do a lot of free workshops so people can just come and test things out. I'm starting to do some of the speed dating things now that we're getting a bigger group. But I actually have two bachelor's degrees and three master's degrees that
What?
yes, on my bachelor's are in information technology and electronic engineering. And then my master's degrees are education, special education, educational leadership, and information technology. So I'm a big techie. I'm a big tech geek.
And a
um,
learner.
yeah, and I just kind of dove in. Tony Robbins was a big part of my life, and I just wanted to do what he did. He helped people like that. I wanted to do that. So I just studied him and I studied NLP and where it came from and got the history. And here I am. I'm still learning, of course, but
Always.
I'm at a point where I need to give. I need to share all this before I'm gone and it was just time wasted.
Yeah, and now you're helping like hundreds of women. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful that you're using your skills in that way. So again, going back to this offer, you have an offer of a free strategy call
Yes.
for your potential people who want to work with you,
Yes.
and especially for the people who are interested in the Find Your Soulmate
Mm-hmm.
coaching program.
Yes. So if you are interested in finding your soulmate, or maybe just getting to a place where you feel okay to date again, because that's the thing. Hop on a call with me and we'll figure out the best plan for you. I work with you for about an hour and we set goals. Whether you decide to work with me or not, you're gonna leave with some value, some goals, and some direction. It's about helping. If it's not a good fit for us to work together, that's okay. I still want to help you.
Oh, that's so great. It's such a wonderful offer for people, and it sounds like such a wonderful way to start out, just to have like a no stress,
Mhm.
easy phone call to talk and see if it's a right fit. Yeah. So
Yep.
that's,
So on my ericacarter.com, which we'll put in the description, it just says book a call. Click on there and click strategy call, and we'll get on a call together.
yeah, when they click that button, it takes them to a calendar where they pick a date and time, right?
Yep,
That's
really
open.
easy.
That is fantastic. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience about the future and changing beliefs and possibilities?
Yeah, I just want everyone to know that you are capable of doing anything that you want. It may be the most outlandish dream, but you're capable of getting to it. Um, I always tell people that we give up on our dreams too fast. I watched a show with my kids, and the little bunnies were like, "Your mom and I are so happy because we gave up on our dreams a long time ago." Oh, that broke my heart. So, and this was a kids' movie.
What?
So just don't
Terrible.
let society and don't let people put you down, because you are amazing. No matter who you are, what you're going through, you're amazing and you decide your life. Just be the chooser in your life.
That's a great message. Well, thank you so much, Erica. People can find you at ericafolk.com. So that's
Carter.
ERICAFL. Oh,
Carter.
let me try again. People can find you at ericacarter.com. So ERICACARTER.com. They can also find you in the Over 40 Fearless and Free group on Facebook. And they can also connect with you with Messenger, right? Is there any other
Yes.
way you want to share with people?
I have a YouTube channel. It's Erica DC75. It's there.
And they can find that too on your website, right? A
Yes.
link somewhere. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for, sharing with our audience your expertise and really sharing the message of hope for so many women who, have maybe were like me in 2012 and like gave up. Hope that there is a possibility of having a wonderful new life and a wonderful new relationship.
Yes.
So thank you again for doing that. Thanks for being here with us and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.